Hi, it's Dr. Christine here, and today I want to put our current beliefs about the brain in the perspective of history. Theories and beliefs have changed much across the millennia, and here's a quick recap. Historically, ancient civilizations believed that the heart was the seat of what we sense, perception, how we think, cognition, and also of the soul or spirit. In ancient Egypt, during mummification, the brain was extracted and discarded as something not important at all for the afterlife. The heart, on the other hand, was so important that it was left in place and mummified with the body. This was not unique to the Egyptians. The ancient Greek, Chinese, and Indian civilizations held the heart to be the organ of all that we now know are mostly functions of the brain. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle believed that the heart was the organ of sensing and thinking about the world, as well as the soul of spirit. The function of the brain was just to cool the passions of the heart. Galen, a Greek physician who lived in Rome, who among others was a physician of emperors like Marcus Aurelius, influenced medicine for centuries. He lived in a time when it was humus, fluids, or spirits moving through the body that made it function. He believed that the role of function of the brain was to make those spirits noble in human beings. There was no such thing in animals. Not until the Renaissance, around the 15th century, were the thinking, memory, and cognitive function relocated to the head. The earliest theories located it to the ventricles, not to the brain matter. Now, the ventricles are in nature fluid-filled spaces showing up as holes in section of a preserved and dead brain. So, if your mother told you that you have holes in your brain, she was right. Leonardo da Vinci was a prominent proponent of this theory. And when you consider that at this time it was spirits or fluids moving through the body that made it work, it is really not far-fetched. Later, the French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes is regarded widely as the father of dualism, which is a belief that body and mind are separate entities, completely separate, and that the body of humans and animals works similarly, like machines, whereas the mind and spirit, which he called the rational soul, are only found in humans. He wasn't the first to talk about this idea, but he is believed to give the most detailed description and theory about it. We still hold this belief widely, as can be seen in the separation of medicine and psychology as separate professions. But I believe that we are entering an era where we finally integrate body, mind, and spirit again for a more complete or holistic view of humanity, health, and medicine. Descartes coined the famous term cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And he could not see how this could be explained in biological terms of having a physical connection. But he also was interested to see how the mind and the body might interact in some way. For him, there had to be a single place where the rational soul, as he called mind and spirit, interact with the body. And he chose the pineal gland in the brain, which is a singular structure in the mostly paired brain, as his place. We now know, of course, that the pineal gland produces melatonin, and it is the main gland involved in the sleep-wake cycle. Now, from that time on, many philosophers and scientists believed more and more that it was the brain that was responsible for many of the functions formerly attributed to the heart, mind, and soul. A so-called pseudoscience called phrenology emerged in the 18th century, and they postulated that the strong development of certain faculties of the mind led to changes in the skull bones and could be assessed by feeling and measuring an individual's head. We no longer believe this theory, but modern neuroscience has proven that even very complex functions of faculties like empathy and compassion have areas in the brain that are mostly dedicated to these functions. Makes you think, doesn't it? So this was Brain Minutes with Doc Christine. Stay tuned for the next ones. Bye bye.